The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different pieces of Jedi and Sith lore in this story that will change and evolve the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren from director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really great about this movie is that J.J. Abrams is, of course, finding ways in order to connect this film not just to the originals and the prequels, but also to Star Wars Rebels. It's one of the major reasons as to why J.J. had a lot of discussions with Dave Filoni, who, by the way, is the showrunner of Star Wars Rebels, especially Season 4, by far one of the best seasons in the Rebels TV series. So with that being said, a lot of people are very eager and are very, much, I guess you could say, curious to learn exactly how J.J. Abrams really is going to incorporate the Star Wars Rebels material into Episode 9 that will be used in a sense to move some of the characters forward. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting. Now, specifically, a description of Rey entering the Lost City, where it's described that she is within the Jedi section. It's described that she eventually travels to the Land of Warriors, eventually coming across the statue of Ahsoka Tano, where it said that this is the location in which Rey discovers the holocron of Ahsoka Tano. It's described that this holocron reveals the origins of the galaxy to Rey, as well as new secrets of the beyond. The holocron is described to be a cube-like device that glows in a blue hue. It said that this is the moment in which Rey learns about the legacy of the ancient Jedi and their place in the galaxy thousands of years ago. It's described that this is another way of JJ connecting the film to Star Wars Rebels. It's also said that like many of the Jedi and Sith statues, there is text written on the back of the statue of Ahsoka that is said to be the new Jedi code that Rey will adopt into creating a new order in Episode 9. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this because this truly changes a lot of things when it comes to the understanding of certain aspects of the Star Wars franchise. Now, number one, we do know that they are going to be introducing holocrons in this movie to a great extent. They really, touched on it in Solo: A Star Wars Story and Dryden Voss's Den. You got a little glimpse of a holocron, right? An oversized one. And we didn't really get to see it in great detail for a long amount of time, but we saw it. So they will be examining, exactly how the audience is going to react to all of these different pieces of Jedi and Sith lore, and how they could use that in future Star Wars movies. And that's a great thing and a great way to treat Episode 9, is to really play around with all these different things in order to see the fans' reactions to it all. So the one thing that I do want to go over is how Rey discovers Ahsoka Tano's statue in the Land of Warriors. Now, we heard about this lightly, I would say about a week ago, give or take, that the Ahsoka Tano statue was actually being placed in the Land of Warriors on set a couple of months ago. We heard about this lightly. It was a big thing. I think that when we think about Ahsoka Tano, it is a very important character. This character really grew on a lot of fans. It did. Ahsoka, I gotta say, Ashley does a great job with the voiceover work. And when you think about that character, she's just about as popular as any other Star Wars character, really. That's how big Rebels really got. And you can only imagine why JJ would want to connect this movie to, of course, the animated TV series and Kylo Ren, and to have them pretty much, go on a similar path to other characters and what they have gone through before in the past. So one thing I will say is this, is that what's really intriguing to me, though, is that on the back of the Ahsoka Tano statue, it said that there is the new Jedi code written and etched into it that Rey adopts and uses, or attempts to use, in order to create a new Jedi Order in Episode 9. So, once again, we do know that J.J. Abrams is trying to build towards something larger and magical, as Kathleen Kennedy has said not too long ago, that this movie, yes, is the end of the Skywalker saga, but it's also building towards something. What does that necessarily mean? We're not quite sure. It could mean that there is going to be a new Star Wars trilogy in the future that takes place well after the events of the Skywalker saga, where we get to see the new generation of Jedi and what they're up to. Now, the thing is, we do know that J.J. Abrams is doing a lot of revelations with this movie, a lot of twists and turns, that's going to change our view on the Skywalker saga, and even certain elements of Star Wars Rebels, even. And I think that really does speak volumes. You can only imagine as to why J.J. needed a co-writer. He himself even admitted this, that If it weren't for Chris Terrio, this script wouldn't have been written, and it's the truth. He admitted this in a story a couple of weeks ago, and I think that having Chris Terrio on board, since he really does know a lot about Legends material, we're going to see a lot of this in episode 9 and exactly how it all interconnects together. So what do you guys make about Rey traveling to the Land of Warriors based within the Lost City, which by the way is underneath the surface of an unknown world in episode 9, where she comes across the statue of Ahsoka Tano, which also holds the actual holocron of Ahsoka, which has secrets of the beyond and the origins of both the Force and even the Jedi and everything that we have learned about in the Star Wars franchise. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.